We've all been trained and taught that there's only one lane, one track of thought in this thing called life that we live. Get into a good college, get a good job, find a good husband, a good wife, a good dog, have 2.5 good kids. But what happens when that train of thought comes off the track? When a pandemic comes with silent solitude, makes me and you sit in it and re-examine all of that. When your job sends you home and you're not sure if you are ever coming back. When you and your spouse or lover are home alone and discover that you have nothing in common except kids, the bills, and a love for the same social media apps. What do you do with that? But then again, in that same time frame, some of us discover that we love the feel of the sun on our skin and grass beneath our feet. That we feel more like ourselves when we exercise some, eat, and get the proper sleep. And that what we've been making can't be called a living when we're spending 80 hours in a cubicle or a kitchen every week. The pandemic gave us time to rediscover we. And just as we were settling into that feeling, just as we began healing and felt like we could breathe, Breonna Taylor was shot by police while sleeping in her own bed. And George Floyd begs for his mother as a cop smothers his knee across George's neck and head. And Rayshard Brooks falls asleep in a drive-thru just before an officer shoots him dead, and all of a sudden the right track feels like a ledge. And all of a sudden many of us feel led to the streets where we will speak and find our voice and raise that voice in a picket sign at a rally at 5 Points. 5 Points where we will sign a petition to bring Brittany Griner home from Russian prisons, cages, and courts. 5 Points where we will stay, see a fair fight where the governor gets all of her votes. 5 Points where we will mourn the victims of Uvalde, of Buffalo, of Hyde Park, of all of those shot in 2022's 318 mass shooting reports. Where we will tell the world that we are not anti-life just because we're pro-choice. Raise our voice that for too long has been bound and drowned by the partisan laws politicians have made, and then ride a wave where our autonomy is assured whether we row or wade. And right now, let me say that I know that every stride we have made toward the sun, up this track, we have made as one. And I know that there are some that would rather see us in the dark, alone in our homes, when the last 2 years have shown that we're stronger and better together than apart. And I know that this train moving steady up the track, heading one way and never coming back, that we hope that it leads to somewhere safe. In fact, I can see the place. Close your eyes tight and imagine, if you might, buying a home with a loan that comes with no red lines. A community built by you and me, where we can dance in the street and sing our babies to sleep at bedtime. Where we will build schools that teach a history of our ancestry that does not begin with slavery and rope burns from deadlines. Where we will police ourselves with caring compassion, justice, and community interaction instead of guns, fear, overreaction, and mandatory fed time. Imagine black faces in safe spaces where the laws are not built to bound and cage us, where the laws are not built by slave patrolling racists. Close your eyes tight and imagine a life where they don't gerrymander districts, where the news doesn't carry views with bias explicit, implicit, or slander in the statistics. Imagine a night where blue lights don't make you fear for your life, fear for your loved ones, where you can give your son the keys, your blessings on his date, and the car to borrow, and not wonder if an air freshener and license plate will cost him all of his tomorrows, where all of his tomorrows look like a chance to grow old, for you to become grandma and granddad, and watch grow the seeds that you've sown, instead of watching your children grow to be hashtags. Close your eyes, if you will, and imagine as we rebuild the culture, as we rebuild and grow closer, as we rebuild Rosewood and Tulsa, as we build black judges and lawyers and politicians that will not ignore the will of the voters. Imagine you being the beginning of generational wealth. Imagine you being the ending of disparities in health. Imagine white people not stealthily trying to touch your locks. Imagine white people not steadily trying to gentrify your blocks. Imagine the blocks, the lots, the 40-acre land plots that belong to your great-great-grandpops once again being yours. Now open your eyes and imagine that you're not imagining anymore. When you see us at our best. See what came before and imagine better what comes next. Yeah. That's it. Something like that, right?